there, this is Anais Smith. Welcome to my channel on family law and mediation and related topics. Today I'm going to discuss the parental rights and responsibilities, specifically relating to unwedded fathers. So, what is parental rights and responsibilities? So, if you look at the Children's Act, the Act prescribes that rights and responsibility towards a child is that you should care for the child, you should keep contact with the child, you act as a guardian of the child, and you contribute maintenance towards the child. So both parents may have access to the child, and the parties can facilitate this by way of an agreement. So what happens if the father is not married to the mother? Well, the Act makes provision for two scenarios. So the first scenario is where the father has lived with the mother either prior to her falling pregnant, during the pregnancy, or maybe they only moved in together after the child was born. So in situations like that, the father will basically get the same rights and responsibilities as he would have had the parties been married. Then the second scenario is where the father does not live with the mother. So he's present there during the pregnancy and birth and all of that, and he sees the child regularly, or he makes an effort to see the child, and he also makes an effort to pay maintenance. That then he also obtains rights and responsibilities towards the child. The fact that the mother, for example, says no, she doesn't want maintenance, she doesn't want anything to do with the father, doesn't affect his right. The fact is, if he wants to pay maintenance and he makes an effort to do so, but she doesn't want to accept the maintenance, that right has been established, and then he can approach the court to have access to his child. So what happens in situations where the father was not listed on the birth certificate as the father? So the Children's Act makes specific provision for that in Section 26. So that father can apply to the court to have the register for births and deaths to be amended so that he is noted as the father of the child. That can be done with consent of the mother. If the mother does not want to consent, or she's incapable of consenting due to mental illness, or she died, or they don't know where her whereabouts are, then the father can also approach the court and have that register amended. So further on, the last aspect that we want to talk about, because a lot of time people come to me and they say, but yes, I have a court order in place, but I still don't get access to my child. So what a lot of parents do is the mother will maybe have access, the mother will have the child living with her, and then the father will pay maintenance and see the child from time to time. But then some issue develops. So usually it's with new partners entering into the equation. So then one of the parties feel a bit on the edge about the situation. So the first thing the mother will say, no, my child is not visiting him because she doesn't like the new girlfriend, or she's not happy with something or another. And with these situations, I'm not referring to substance abuse. This is your normal situation where both parents have a stable home and they are healthy and contributing members of society. In situations like that, there's no justification for you not to allow your child to have access to the other parent. And then on the other side, you get the father then, or the other parent, sometimes the mother, to say, well, I don't have access to this child, so I am not going to pay maintenance. That is not allowed. Your child has a right to maintenance. Your child has a right to see both parents. So if you don't pay maintenance because you don't have access to your child, The mother that the child is living with can still approach the court to get a maintenance order if there's not one in place. And if there is one in place, she can still go to court to have the maintenance order enforced. And you will be subpoenaed to go to court. If you don't, if you can't show proper cause as to why you're not paying maintenance, you can be arrested and you might have to stay in prison for a couple of months. Also, the same goes for a parent denying the other parent access to the child. If there's a court order in place, Section 35 makes provision for that, that you can still approach the court, and the parent that doesn't honor the court order can be arrested for a period not exceeding 1 year, or can receive a fine. So these situations, approaching the court and having people arrested, is quite, it's very extreme. So I always tell my clients, you know what, that if you communicate about things, then situations like this can be avoided. So if the parties attend mediation and they can agree to a certain parenting plan and they can properly assess the needs of the child as well as the means of both parents, then it's very easy to resolve these issues. And relating to contact, parents can also have the opportunity to raise any concerns that they might have, which is excellent, because sometimes it's small things, but maybe the child is a bit small and you think, okay, the father, for example, has worked long hours when the two of you were together, and that you are concerned that the child might not be cared for properly should he or she now at this point go and visit the other parent. So things like that can be addressed. If there is a situation of substance abuse, alcoholism, drugs, things like that, you still can't um, prevent the child from having contact with that parent. So in situations like that, you can arrange, sometimes with a social worker present, you can arrange for supervised contact. So that means the parent with the substance abuse will have a short period of spending time with the child, maintaining a proper relationship with the child. And then obviously, if that parent manages to pull himself together, get a job, rehabilitate themselves, then they will be able to have better contact times with the child. It's very difficult for a child who's now 5 years old to go for a weekend to spend time with his dad if he's never seen the father for 5 years, because nobody allowed him to see his father because of the substance abuse. One should always consider, when you are parents, you obviously love your children very much, but it's very, very important, and I cannot emphasize this enough, that you always take into consideration the best interest of the child. And it's always in the best interest of the child to have proper care and to have a proper relationship with both parents. Mediation is usually recommended before the parents split up or after they've split up, to help them to compile a parenting plan which sets out the maintenance and the contact arrangements and living arrangements. But mediation can be done at any time. So even if you as a parents have all of this in place, but things change, children grow up, you can always go back to mediating the situation. What is very nice about mediation is obviously the fact that you have control over everything, but you are able to discuss things with your as both parents, because you are co-parenting. So that's important. If you have concerns maybe regarding eating habits or routines or uh, screen time, things like that, then you are able to discuss that during the mediation. So that is it's a very nice setup to just go and sit and in a neutral environment and discuss those things. If there are any other problems that creep up, uh, then the parties can discuss it. And if there has to be an intervention from another expert, maybe psychologist or psychiatrist or a social worker, then that option can be discussed. And the parents can also then raise any concerns that they have, and then they can discuss this with the mediator, and the mediator can direct them to people that have the necessary expertise. I hope this was informative, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Kindly like and subscribe my channel and share this clip. Thank you till next time.